During the GFC, the S&P dropped close to 22%. Self-storage dropped around 3%. During COVID, when a bunch of syndicators were filing for bankruptcy because they just couldn't keep the deals running, a lot of equity investors, LPs, were losing all of their equity. Self-storage had some of the best years on record, 80% year over year rent growth, because when you can't work from the office, you can't go to school, you have to do that in the house. What are you going to do with all your possessions in those rooms? You're going to put them into storage. You're not going to sell them knowing that eventually the pandemic will be over. So it's been a fantastic asset to invest in just from a return perspective. I have a couple statistics here if you'll give me about 30 seconds. So if you had $100,000 to invest in 1994 and you kept reinvesting your dividends or reinvesting your profit, if you put that $100,000 into the S&P 500, by 2021, you would have about $1.6 million. If you put that into residential or apartment buildings, you'd have about $3.8 million. If you put that into self-storage, you'd have about $10.4 million. And so the corresponding average annual returns by each of these sectors are S&P is about 10.8%, residential apartment buildings about 14.4%, and self-storage is about 18.8%. So that 4% difference between apartments and self-storage may not seem like a lot, but once you realize how compounding interest works, and that rule of, I think it's the rule of 72 divided by your interest, they'll tell you how many years it takes to double your money. Then you can see how quickly it takes for self-storage to double and then get up to that value.